Hello and welcome to VARTALAP episode of DILSE.
First, all that I wanted to start a small Paan Shop, like what I saw in my small village. People used to have with the four boxes and the loud voice music, and they will making pan and they keep collecting the money. So I was motivated, and all I wanted to start in my life was to pan dukan.
Hello and welcome to VARTALAP episode of DILSE. In this episode, you are going to listen to a very interesting life journey of Mr. Sunil from Bihar, who once had a dream to start a pan business or to run a Paan Shop. If you are wondering what is pan, it is tobacco rolled in a betel leaf which is chewed by most of the people in northern parts of India. And you will be listening how later his life took a turn and he became a business consultant in UK, and today he is back to Bihar and he trains leaders. So let us hear his interesting life journey and get encouraged. Welcome to another episode of DILSE, a word from our heart.
Hi Sunil,
Hi Ashish, hello.
nice to have you in this program, and we welcome you in this VARTALAP episode of DILSE. And I believe that your talk today will impact many lives and it will be encouraging to many youth. Okay, so I have known a little bit about your challenges and struggles that you have went through in your life and how you could overcome it, and today you are in a good position where you are helping many others. So I believe that you will be sharing from your life experiences which can benefit many young viewers who are watching this program. So straight away, let me ask you questions so that we will know better about your challenges, right?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Sunil, can you please explain or give a brief introduction about your background? Like, where do you come from and your early life?
Well, Ashish, I'm from basically from Bihar, in one of the north district, and that is, I'm from the small village. Basically, where I grew up, and where I was actually, it was a very small village, so I was not exposed to. Later on my stage, actually, I got changed. And in the beginning when I was studying and all, I had the very few bad addictions, and I didn't have much focus. All that I wanted to start a small Paan Shop, like what I saw in my small village. People used to have with the four boxes and the loud voice music, and they will making pan and they keep collecting the money. So I was motivated, and all I wanted to start in my life was to pan dukan. And then, but later it changed, and it changed through somebody who helped me in my life, who showed little love and care, and he guided me, and it transformed me to the next level.
Yeah, that's nice to hear how things change in your life. And today, of course, you're not running a pawn shop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sunil, you mentioned that you didn't have focus in your life. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's true that many youth, they struggle in this area. They don't have a purpose or focus in their life. And because of that, they are not able to work hard or take any strong decisions, and it affects their career. So apart from that, what were the struggles that you faced in your youth life or during your studies or in your college?
As you said, Ashish, about the focus, I'd like to mention about, what we see around, and what the best actually we see with our eyes around. Only we focus and we target. Basically, it was the same. So, unless somebody actually help you and guide you a little bit to show you the bigger picture of your life, you and I actually very hard to go to the next level. So that's the focus was because of what I saw around, and I was thinking only I could do this much. So all that could see, because I was not a very good student. I was very poor, in my, even the exams I passed, 10th exam I passed, it was through the bit. Somebody actually helped me during my exam. And that's how actually I passed. So all that I could see from me, that what I could do this much. But when somebody really help you, that makes a lot difference. If there is the people in your life comes to show the little love and care, that makes lots of difference.
Yeah, it's true what you said. Now, many times we look at the circumstances and the situation where we are, and we take decisions based on our circumstances and situation, but we fail to understand the inner potential which God has given us. Okay, Sunil, can you specify some of the distraction that you face as a youth, and how it affected your goal or purpose in your life?
Yes, Ashish, I had so many distractions in my life, actually, especially about the movies I was so crazy for. And it doesn't matter what movie, actually. It could be sometimes there were the friends who took me to the adult movie, which was, I was not even of that age. And that was one of the things. And also, what I used to see, there were the few cool guys in my school time. And I always wanted to be like them. And that I could also look cool, so that the girls can just keep giving their eyes on you, and you could be attracted to them. So it was all about pleasing my friends, and the being somebody like who somebody else is. I wanted to be like somebody else. But those were the things, actually. Basically, I was not a very smart fellow, as I told you, not even in studies. So when you're not good looking, also you're not smart, and it's all actually put you down. So those were the things I was that actually kept me very low, and that was actually one thing I mentioned before, that it didn't have like how much I will be able to do in my life.
So normally, like any youth, we want to get identified with the crowd. We want to, or in other words, we want to show that I am also someone. We want to prove ourselves, and. And also you said about the pressure, the peer pressure, which also force, the peer pressure which motivates us to do something and try to be someone that we are not.
Yeah.
And Sunil, you were talking about addiction to movies. Yes, it's true that many youth, they struggle in this area. They keep watching lot of time. The screen time is too long, that they are not able to concentrate in their studies or in their career and whatever plans they have. Even scientifically it says that the more we watch the screen, it affects our thinking capacity also. So you were mentioning that there was someone in your life who really changed you, who mentored you, or who showed some love and care, and that was a reason. Can you please emphasize on that? Can you explain in detail about that?
Yes, you see, Ashish, actually we not able to see much when we are actually just in the learning process, much or less, especially about the schools when we are finishing. We don't have that much idea, and especially because during our school days, we actually hanging with the friends, we just running here, there, and especially when you are poor students, you just, you're not doing well. So you just keep doing those things and you don't know what is better. And somebody at that point actually come and help you and guide you actually to they see the potential also, and so with the love and care, they show you little bit. Yes, this is actually could be done and you could do better. They don't force you, but like they tell you, you could do better, and it helps a lot, because as I told you, I didn't have no much or less anything that that I could do this, or I could become that. But like somebody took the time and they helped me, and that actually that's why it made sense, because they guided me actually, and as elder brother and elder sister who helped me through that.
So Sunil, so you said that someone helped you and encouraged you or motivated you. After that, did things change the very day, or did you still face those challenges and struggle that you were facing before that?
No, Ashish, definitely not. You see, the actually life is not that, and it never happens. I mean, still till now, I completed all that, and the now even on the training, as you see, I'm working with the people. Still now, I'm actually in the learning process, and is the process that happens, and it didn't happen in one day at all. But there were the few decisions I took to my life that I must actually follow this. And there were the certain decisions I took. I was very strict into this because I wanted to achieve something. So in order to achieve something, if I do little sacrifice of myself, little bit, it doesn't have to be much. That itself makes a difference. And when I took those decisions, it gradually actually start helping me. And Isa, you were talking in the earlier videos about the thoughts and the habits. And it's like we have to make our decision on the the certain things which we know it is not right, and we know that we could do better, but we don't do it. But then we find this small strategies. We find actually, okay, we can do this, we must do this. So little guidelines when we put it to ourselves, that helps and that transforms it.
Any experience that you'd like to mention even after this mentoring happened, which you face and you try and you were able to overcome?
Yes, definitely. I recall one of the incident. Actually, it is a bit personal, but still I would like to, it's an informal talk we're having. There was one incident. I remember we were going to one of the tour visit with all our friends and in the bus. So we were like 52 boys, and somehow I was the secretary of my class. So during when we were traveling in the bus, actually we had a small screen TV, and they wanted to put the adult movie. And it was the evening, and now nobody's going to say no, and of course there were no teacher. And so basically they had to ask me, but because certain way I kept myself, and one of the guy wanted to come and speak to me, Sunil shall we put it, but the other guy who was next to him sitting, he said, you cannot ask Sunil because Sunil don't opt for these things. He will not accept it. So it's better not, because that may disappoint him and he won't be happy. So better not. So really keeping, somehow they actually understood that this boy will not actually accept for some, it's not nonsense, some crazy things which, everybody like or may not like. And they didn't do it. In fact, even going to the hotel where we stayed, there also they wanted to do, but they said no. And it's really, I was so glad that, wow, and they realized, they understood that certain things I'm not for it.
So as I understand, earlier the situation was different. When there was peer pressure, you were yielding to it. You got yielded into it. But now, after this mentoring happened, and when you decided you had certain principles in your life, and your focus was clear, you avoided certain distractions in your life. And you made sure that you don't get yielded to the peer pressure. Instead, you wanted to influence them. And I'm really happy to hear that they were very mindful that you will not like it, and they also didn't do it. And that's really a very good thing.
Yes, Ashish, I would like to say, when we know we have certain weaknesses, and I mentioned earlier that I was very crazy to the movies. So when I went through this process actually where somebody helped me in this journey, and I realized, this movie actually is the one which drives me crazy. This movie is the one actually which really takes much of my time. And I mean, of course, the friends and all. So I decided, why don't I actually stop for some time? I mean, not for some time. I just said, I'm not going to watch this. Oh, I will just, that was one of the decisions. So during the college time, when there is a leave and all, the friends and all will ask me, so let's go for the movies. I had like 5-6 friends whom actually I go along, walk, all that we do. But when it comes to that, when it comes to like going for the party and kind of things, I will just say, please, I don't want to go. I don't, somehow I'll just pull myself out from that. I won't go. So that's how I actually made them realize as well that I'm not for it. So it's like our decision actually as well on the certain weaknesses, and that helps.
I believe it was the principles that you made in your life, the principles that you had, the decisions you took, that help you to focus in your goals and help you to overcome many challenges. Am I right?
Yeah.
And I also understand that later you moved to UK. You were in London for quite a long time. For how many years?
7 years I was.
Okay, 7 years you were in London. You were a business consultant for many companies. And then right now you are in a reputed organization training leaders. That's really amazing, how initially you wanted to have a pawn shop and now you are training leaders. That's amazing. Your journey is really an encouraging and a challenging one. And I believe it was because of your stand that you took. You will not be distracted by movies. You will not be influenced by peer pressure. And you will make sure that you focus in your priorities. That's amazing. That's really good. And I believe many youth today are struggling in those areas. They're yielding to the peer pressure. They know it's wrong. But because of the pressures of their friend, they say okay and they struggle to come out of it. And also addicted to watching some adult movies or any movies it could be, which takes a lot of time and it really affects them. Social media, of course. So, Sunil, what would be your advice to the viewers who are watching this video, the students, the youth? What would be your advice?
I will tell one thing for sure to young friends, that you see our journey for the studies. Actually, you see my life itself, I was very poor, and I told you how I passed my 10th. It was ridiculous when I think now that I took somebody else's paper, I just copied, and I just got the pass mark. But when I made up my mind, I have to do this, that I have to be very strict. And then one thing I thought, it's like a couple of years only, 2 years or 3 years. If we keep ourselves with certain principle, it's not easy and it takes a bit effort of ours. In these 2 to 3 years during our studies time, when we keep certain principle strongly, we can do better. And there's nothing that that we cannot achieve. Because I as you mentioned, I could never imagine, the boy who used to think, even myself, I'm surprised, just start a Paan Shop. But later I become the consultant for the business, and then later now I'm working with the people. So nothing is impossible for sure. Can be done, can be achieved, but little effort. If any boy or girl, if they take a small decision, it takes little extra effort. I'm not saying we should leave our friend zone. We should just come out of the friend circle and just leave. No, it's impossible. We have to live with them. But when it comes to something, we know that we shouldn't be doing at that point. And that when we pull ourselves out from that actually helps a lot. And that actually then is a process. You study. And then somehow you get encouraged and do better, and then you carry on. In fact, I was surprised when I was moved from Bihar to South India, and it was a really different culture and the language. And surprised to myself, you see, few decisions that I took to follow, and just to be little different. And that actually really kept me, and that actually helped me not only to be better person, it also helped me to be success. Even I'm so surprised when I see my certificates that every semester I was the topper and in my college. And I was wondering at that time, there are the guys actually who are better, who has the better background, and they have come from the good families and all. And then they are actually not able to reach what I just did with the little effort. So that helps a lot. But I would like to advise to the youth who are watching this, and it's really definitely, and I would say, we cannot do it. It's God's grace upon all of us is there, and that purpose actually for all of us is there, and that if I could do, I could definitely say that everybody can do, because what I look at myself, and the finishing from the college, just little effort I took that actually helped me to go to the next level to do MBA, and from there to UK to do MS, and then did the work with the companies, and then I started my own consultancy, and from there then I moved on. So if I can do, definitely I think that every youth can do it, and they could also be a change maker with a little small different from others. And I would suggest every youth who thinks that you can't do anything, there's nothing in you, but your little small decision, that you feel, and you have to be little different, and something is not right, just avoid. And then when we do that, we will be able to really be a successful person, and we can do it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunil. It was really encouraging, really amazing to see how a person who had a dream to start a pawn shop, ending up training leaders and also running a business consultancy in UK for 7 years. That's amazing. And I believe it's only because of the conscious decisions that you made in your life. You decided not to do what was wrong, and you were very clear in the principles that you made for your life, and also avoiding certain distractions and not yielding to peer pressure. And I believe even the youth who are watching this episode will be encouraged not to yield to peer pressure, and also to make conscious decisions and have certain principles in their life, and also value the words of counsel given by the mentors. You mentioned that how a mentor in your life changed your life or encouraged you. There are many people in our life who mentors us, guides us, and we need to listen, to heed to their words of advice, which can definitely help us. Thank you, Sunil. So I believe that your talk today has motivated many, and we believe that your life will continue to challenge many youth. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.